My congratulations to all of those who joined with me in Paris and would have been victims of this terrorist plot on today's verdict, to all of those who have fought so hard in the MEK for Iranian freedom, and to Iranian patriots everywhere who want to restore the good name of Iran and create a free and democratic republic in Tehran. There is no mistaking that today is an extraordinary victory. These four individuals, posing as Iranian diplomats, agents of the regime, have been found in a court of law, in a free, open, and fair process, guilty of acts of terrorism. Any debate about the Iranian regime's involvement in acts of terror, murder, is now over. It's established as a matter of law, a matter of fact, that it was the intention of the mullahs in Tehran to murder Mrs. Rajavi and all of us who were there doing nothing more than in free expression in France, the heart of a Western democracy, petitioning the Iranian government to let its people live free lives. And now the verdict is in, and these four individuals will pay with years or decades of their freedom. But what's not done? They didn't act alone. Indeed, interestingly, they never even pled innocence. All they were arguing is that they shouldn't be tried because they were diplomats. They didn't claim they weren't terrorists. They didn't claim they weren't trying to commit murder. They claimed they were diplomats. Well, their pleas have been rejected. Now, where do we go? First, let's just be honest with each other. While these four individuals were guilty, they were members of the Iranian government, agents of the Ministry of Security and Intelligence. The real culprit that should be on trial, Zarif, was not there, but he remains guilty. And for all in the international community who seek justice, he and his subordinates are yet to be apprehended and tried, but they are guilty, as is the larger regime. International diplomacy, using the status of a diplomat to transport explosives, to plan murders, to move agents with the intent of killing, is as much of a violation of international law as is possible. So what do we do? First, for those nations who have not done so, designating Zarif, designating the ministry as a terrorist enterprise is essential. Sanction it, call it out for what it is, a terrorist enterprise. All Western governments, if you have confidence in your own courts, if you believe your own prosecutors, if you're willing to be honest with the evidence, what choice do we have? These are judgments my own government, the United States, have made, but now must be made by countries in the EU and Britain and a host of other nations. You have confidence in your courts, follow their lead. Second, the Iranian people. If you doubted before the claims of the United States and other Western nations that the Iranian regime is a terrorist government, is there anything left now to discuss or debate? In a free, open court, they have been found guilty of using their own agents to commit terrorism. So all of us have a role to play. My congratulations to the police of Germany, Belgium, and France, the courts of Belgium, the governments of Western Europe for their professionalism, their honesty, their integrity, and their strength. They've spoken. Now, as I've suggested, other governments need to speak by designating as terrorist acts, certainly designating Zarif as a terrorist. And then the Iranian people. You've seen the evidence. You've seen what has happened. So many brave Iranians have now taken to the streets demanding freedom for themselves and for their families. So many have sacrificed. Now it's everyone else's turn. Take a stand. Take a stand. The MEK and Mrs. Rajavi have provided the leadership and the inspiration. There's just so much they can do, and there's just so much all of us, the international community, can do. Ultimately, while today was a victory, it's not the ultimate success that we need. That will be earned only by the Iranian people on the streets of the cities and towns of Iran, demanding freedom. To everyone who was a part of today's victory, congratulations. There is justice, there is accountability for acts of terrorism in the world by the Iranian government. As someday, those who hold Iranian patriots today in jails throughout Iran, who've tortured your sons and daughters, denied your freedom, stolen billions of dollars, even while the Iranian people go hungry, deprived of the most basic needs, for the theft of your resources, for the denial of your freedom, for the abuse of your children. Just as today, there is a verdict. History and future courts, as assuredly, the mullahs will one day sit in a docket, in a jury, and a trial in Tehran for their crimes. As agents of the Ministry of Interior, as Arif himself will sit in a jury docket. As sure as that will happen, today we celebrate this great victory. Congratulations again. My thanks and admirations for the police, for the judges, for the juries of Western Europe. Thank you.